Let's bring in our good friend Adam Schefter, who knows more about this than any of us could hope. Adam, what's behind this? Because obviously this is a town that sold out for years and fans didn't turn out because the team wasn't that good. How do they rationalize pulling a team away from fans?
Again.
It's a money-making venture. It's the second biggest market in the world. There is a huge population out there that's grown up without a football team. The league has been trying to make this happen for over 20 years since Los Angeles lost the Rams and the Raiders. The league has wanted to go back there, been determined to go back there. It's been about finding the right stadium, and I think in this particular case, Dan Kroenke put together a plan that, as one NFL owner described to me this morning, is quote-unquote insane when you see it. Okay, this is a $3 billion project from a man who has made a small fortune in real estate development, knows what he's doing, has the backing of the NFL. They want to be in that market. Eventually, the NFL Network studios will move over there, okay, so that they have the studios over there to go along with this huge stadium. It's about business, Michael. That's what it is. It's good business for the NFL to be in LA. Now, you could argue, and you will argue, and I get it, that it's bad business to ever pull an NFL franchise from a city, particularly one like St. Louis. But in this particular case, it's purely a business decision.
Why not an expansion team?
They have not discussed expansion. I think they're very happy and pleased with 32 teams right now. How many more teams you want? How many are in baseball? 30?
30.
How many are in the NBA?
30.
30.
How many are in hockey?
30.
Okay, so there are already more football teams than the other teams. How many teams do we have?
Well, if there's that much of a market for it, then what's the big deal? If there's such a hankering for football in Los Angeles, which I'm not really sure there is, Adam. I mean, I think it's more, I want to be in the number 2 television market. I want a new building. I want to have a Super Bowl in L.A. I don't know if people in Los Angeles are begging for it. So put 2 more teams in.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's fine. Again, there's been no talk of that. That's all I can say. And I think they're happy with where they're at right now. But you're going to see eventually, a Super Bowl is going to go to this new stadium once it's built. I believe the Combine eventually will go to this stadium when it's built. The draft will go to the stadium now once it's built, or the area. They want it to be in L.A. I mean, they feel like they're lesser of a league because they're not in the L.A. market. The basketball, NBA's got 2 teams right there. Baseball's got, 2 teams there? Right?
Yeah, Anaheim's a little bit of a ride, but essentially L.A.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, they even have hockey teams there. There's no NFL team there. And you're right. I don't believe there was some hankering in the L.A. market that Los Angelinos are in a situation that say, boy, we got to get ourselves an NFL team. Like, that's not what this is about.
Adam, I totally get what you're saying, and I'm certainly not arguing with you, but what Don and I was saying, you preach family, you preach how you love your fans, and then you rip a fan base, their hearts out for the second time. I mean, that's a bad optic to do business that way. It doesn't look good for the NFL. I understand going to L.A., and I'm all for making the most money. I'm a sick capitalist, but come on. There's other ways to do it, and the NFL hasn't been hurt without having a team in L.A.
I'm not going to argue with you either, okay? You're right in your points. Your points are accurate. Ultimately, in the end, business wins out here, okay? And to have a franchise or 2 in L.A. is much more profitable for the NFL, much more lucrative. The value of the now Los Angeles Rams, okay? I'd like to sit down and speak to somebody about this, but I'm going to guess conservatively that their value in St. Louis, as the St. Louis Rams, they're probably worth, $1.2 billion a year? I'm going to give you a round number.
Right.
Okay, and I would bet you that the value of that franchise automatically doubles just by going to L.A. So if that franchise value is now doubling by going to L.A., what does that do to the value of all the other NFL franchises? It raises boats in the water. Okay, so that's part of it. And there's all the other outgrowths that come along with it. Again, they want to be in L.A. bad enough that they put a whole network there without a team. Okay? So if they get a franchise there, of course they were going to do that.
All right, so where do we stand with San Diego? Still the possibility they can piggyback on this thing. So what are the odds that the Chargers go through this in a year or two?
Yeah, this afternoon the Chargers are actually given the framework and guidelines for a deal that they could try to work out with the St. Louis Rams. I don't know the full details, but I know they were given paperwork that they've been anxious to get, and now they can sit down and try to see if they could work out a deal. Let's be very clear. Dean Spanos, the Chargers owner, had no interest in forming a partnership with Stan Kroenke. He has no use for Stan Kroenke, and that was part of the reason and the holdup that this deal got delayed the way it did and did not work out with Rams and Chargers at the outset, and why the Chargers and Raiders partnered up, because Mark Davis and Dean Spanos, longtime division rivals, formed an unlikely partnership because of Dean Spanos' feelings for Stan Kroenke. But in this particular case, Stan Kroenke had that insane plan for the insane stadium, for the insane business venture that the NFL wanted to partner up here. And so that won out over everything else. And you have to realize that for the Chargers or the Raiders to move, it's expensive. Like, I don't know, as wealthy as these teams are, if even they have that kind of money. You're talking about a $550 million relocation fee. You're talking about building this new stadium there. Okay, this, to Stan Kroenke, is pocket money. It's not pocket money to Mark Davis and Dean Spanos. So that's why ultimately in the end, Stan Kroenke's plan wins out, because it's the best one for the NFL. And if it's such that the Chargers or Raiders can't afford it, and each will be given the option, at least the Chargers will first, the Raiders second, if the Chargers decline it, then it'll just be the Rams there. That's the way it goes.
Well, the team that really needs a new stadium of all the three that we're talking about are the Raiders. So they still stay stuck in Oakland?
Right now the league gives them $100 million for stadium credits, which is very generous and very nice. $100 million in stadium. Like, so give you $100 to go buy a new house. Well, thanks very much, but what is that going to do?
Yeah. So right now, just to get clarified, next year the Rams play in the L.A. Coliseum.
Correct. They play for the next, I think, 3 years is my understanding. And I think that stadium, the new stadium, the one that will make Jerry's World look like it's, a small complex, opens in 2019.
And the Raiders and the Chargers stay put. All right, now we have to ask you about the...
hold on. The Chargers, they stay put for now. For now.
Right.
Now they're given a year to work this out. Like, it's possible that the 2016 season, the Chargers still could be playing in LA. That could happen. That's still in play.
So that's really going to help season ticket sales in San Diego and Oakland.
Well, that's part of the problem. And, in fact, I would tell you that when the talk of the Chargers and the Rams came up, I've been saying this so long, once you come out and you bash your own city's proposals to you and you talk about, like, how do you ever go back to that situation as it is?
Right.
It's very hard to do that. So somehow, some way, I would think that the Chargers play this season in L.A. They figure out a way, but that's up to much smarter people to figure out than me how to get it done.